성공을 향해 가는 채널.
You don't get to quit caffeine. It just doesn't work. If you stop taking it, especially when you have it connected to all the things that are important to you, me particularly work, not taking it is like getting rid of all the things you really enjoy.
요즘 현대인들에겐 카페인은 꼭 필요한 음식이죠. 카페인에 대한 우리의 인식은 피로해소 각성제, 아마 대부분의 사람들은 이렇게 생각할 겁니다. 하지만 알렉스 베커는 카페인의 위험성을 경고합니다. 왜 카페인이 위험한지 알아봅시다.
I'm a full-blown caffeine addict since the age of, I think around 18 when I was in the military. The first thing I would do when I was in the military is I would wake up, and before I would drive to the fire department, I used to be a firefighter in the military, I would go to the gas station, and I got in the habit of drinking an energy drink every single morning. And I also got severely in the habit of always before working, drinking some caffeine of some kind. And so in order to wake up, in order to work out, in order to work in general, everything was completely tied to caffeine. Once it got to a certain point, I'm sure you might be in the scenario right now, it got to the point where it's not an option to quit. You don't get to quit caffeine. It just doesn't work. If you stop taking it, especially when you have it connected to all the things that are important to you, me particularly work, not taking it is like getting rid of all the things you really enjoy. And so recently I completely cold turkey stopped coffee. I don't drink it ever anymore. I'm not going to drink it ever again, except maybe like as an after dinner drink when I go to dinner. I will never drink it for work. I will never drink it to work out. I will never use it as a stimulant for work ever again. And I want to talk about why in this video, because I feel that it really took a huge bite out of my life. It really hurt my health. It actually made me far less productive. Caffeine does not make you more productive. So first up, how does caffeine actually work? How does it actually work? Basically what it does, and I'm not going to explain the whole scientific stuff behind it, because frankly, I'm not good at explaining scientific stuff, but here's how it works. You basically have receptors in your brain that when your brain gets heavily active or you start to get tired, a certain chemical goes into those receptors and it starts making you tired. So what caffeine does is it blocks those receptors, so it stops you from getting tired. Basically, the chemicals are going to go in your brain and say, hey, it's time to slow down. It's time to, rest. It's going to block those. So it's going to make you very alert. And so basically what caffeine does is it basically blocks your body from telling your body what exactly it needs. What your body is feeling, the worn downness, the fatigue, the want to sleep, that's still there. All the negative effects that come with it are still there. Caffeine just blocks it. And then what caffeine also does is it goes and fills the receptors, the other receptors in your body, and triggers cortisol and dopamine. And when you total this all together, it's so nasty because the first few times you do caffeine, or maybe if you're doing it like once a month, once a week or something like that, not too bad. But over time, if you drink it daily like everybody else does, and like I did, this is so damn nasty. Because first off, in your brain, the thing that's telling you to rest, what happens when those receptors are constantly blocked, your brain makes more of them. And then what happens is caffeine can't fill all those, so you have to drink more caffeine to fill them. But then what happens is it's like a credit card. You're building up all this debt of all these sleepy chemicals in your brain. And so the second you stop drinking caffeine, what happens? They flood all those receptors and you crash. And so what happens is your energy and who you are is being held hostage by the caffeine. Caffeine reduces you to 50% of who you are. And in order to get to 80% to the point where you can actually feel decent, you have to drink caffeine. It gets even worse when you actually start looking at, well, a lot of people that drink a lot of caffeine have anxiety all the time around people because their stress hormones are overblown. Their adrenals are completely worn out. And so look at all that. It holds your energy hostage. It messes up every other part of your body. And what it's going to do is it's going to make it so you can't get the enjoyment out of life and enjoyment out of things unless you have caffeine going through your body.
우리는 일을 더 열심히 하기 위해 또는 집중하기 위해 카페인을 섭취하죠. 하지만 카페인 섭취가 습관이 되고 중독이 된다면 그건 최악의 상황이 될 겁니다. 성공을 위해 사용해야 할 도파민이 없어지고 스트레스로부터 보호해주는 코르티솔이 없어집니다. 그렇기에 우리는 건강과 성공을 위해서 카페인을 조절해야 합니다.